Hello and welcome to my tarot corner. So before I start with the royal family, I'm going to talk a little bit about my own family and what happened yesterday. So if you think that only the royal family has problems, so my family as well. So it's not something that only the royal family has royalties for. And my aunt is a woman nearly 80 years old, and she never married. She has no children. She has no partner right now, and she started severe dementia over the past year. And we've been starting to try and take care of her. And there are two parts of this family. There are me and my brothers and my cousin, and there are the other part of the family and my other cousins and my another aunt that was married to my uncle, and she has her own views on what to do and how to deal with these situations. So yesterday it was Saturday, and that part of the family are religious, so they are keeping the Shabbat, and of course they couldn't come to the hospital. So despite my physical and my health, I went there with my brother. We went to my aunt's place to see what's going on, and we realized that she's in a state that she needs to be taken to the hospital. We took her to the hospital. We ordered an ambulance, and then we waited in the hospital until evening. It was like, I don't know, 6-7 hours there, and only after we left they realized that she has a life-threatening heart condition and that she needs a pacemaker. And this morning, apparently, there were a lot of discussions and arguments about who needs to do what. And of course, my head is almost blowing away because of that. And I just put my phone on silence for a few moments, or at least for a half an hour, so I can do a reading, because this is actually a palate cleanser for me. So tomorrow is Catherine's birthday, and I do not mean to deal with the sussexes tomorrow, no matter what. Tomorrow I'm going to do for Catherine a birthday spread. But today I'm going to do what I have done before, and this is a Tarako, or a small Tarako reading, in which I am going through many questions, but I'm starting with one big question, which is going to be an SOS question, and then I have this list of 9 questions here. Where is it? I've put it here. Where is? Oh, okay, here it is. So I have a list of 9 questions here that I hope that I will have the time to go over all of them. This is only the tip of the iceberg. I mean, so many things that already been debunked, but some of the things I'm going to ask anyway, because I think that they were thrown out into the air even before the book. So I'm going to look into these, and I'm going to do that in the short way of the Tarako reading. And if you remember, it's taking 4 cards, and the 5th card is the answer, which is a yes or no answer. And if we're getting a message card, which most of the cards in the tarot are message cards, then we need to look at the message of the card. Now, as you can see here, I have 2 oracle decks. One is the Rune Oracle, and one is the message from the angels. Now, the message from the angels is for us, especially, and for the royal family. The Rune oracles is to tell us what is going on in the Sussex camp, or at least to try and find out what is going on there. And I'm using the Dark Angel Tarot, which is a dark tarot deck. I've used that before, and I haven't used it for a long time, so I think this is a good time to use it. So before I start, please take a few moments to look at the full disclaimer in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. So the bigger question is something that the Royal Grift talked about in her video this morning, and it's an article that was published today at the Globe. Now, this is a tabloid in the USA. Probably what is said there is not, it's not true, or probably not accurate, but maybe it is a way of the royal family to try and test the waters. And that article said that King Charles has proposed, or is willing to propose, $50 million payout to Meghan in order for her to leave Harry, and he's even willing to waive custody of the children. Now, if that is true, first of all, it means that King Charles does not believe that these children belong in the line of succession. Because if he did believe that, then there is no way that he would waive custody on them. Now, as the Royal Grift said, this number is a little bit too low to really entice Meghan to accept that. But this could be in a way to test the waters of whether or not there is someone to talk to, whether Meghan is even willing to talk about monetary let's say payout in order for her to walk away from Harry and leave him alone and let the family take care of him. So I believe that this might be the reason. Now, it does go very well with all sorts of hints that Lady C gave in her past videos in the past few weeks. She has hinted to many things. Probably for the surrogate, when she talked about something that happened in Bristol, and she said that she knows things are going to happen. She spoke about things that she knows that are going to happen. So maybe she does know about this kind of plan of the royal family to try and buy Harry out from Meghan. So I think that what comes across very clearly from the books is, first of all, that Harry is completely oblivious to the things that he himself writes. He writes about how about his arguments with William, and how William is trying to make him see the light, how William is telling him how much he loves him and how much he wants him to be happy, and he does not realize that the people are trying to make him see the reality. He himself is showing us how Meghan is a bully, how Meghan made Catherine cry, how Meghan acted in a very in a way that is non-acceptable, like asking Catherine for her lip gloss, or other ways that, or the way that it seems like Meghan's eyes that were opened when she saw William's and Catherine's apartment and realized that no matter how much they will get their Frogmore cottage rebuilt and renovated, it doesn't matter, because they will always be second place, because they will always be the spares and not the heirs. So that is probably what made Meghan realize that she is not making the right, or maybe that that the best way is to persuade Harry to leave. So, so many things that Harry himself is, let's say, selling out Meghan as the bully that she is, as someone who is rude, someone who has no manners at all, and he doesn't pay attention to what he himself writes. And the other things like the Taliban story and many other things that I'm going to look into here. But the main question, the one that I'm going to look into in the SOS, is not whether or not that article is true, but whether or not the royal family is trying to find a way of buying Harry out of the royal family. So this is going to be the first SOS question. Now, if that is true, that means that they don't really believe that the children are belong in the line of succession, so they don't believe that they are from the body. So first, once again, so I am clearing the deck. And I'm going to start asking. So, is the royal family trying to convince Meghan to get money in return for her leaving Harry or divorcing him, even taking the children with her and letting the family take care of Harry? Is King Charles trying to find a way to entice Meghan to accept money in exchange for her leaving Harry and getting money as in exchange, getting the house in Montecito and getting the children? Is King Charles trying to tempt Meghan to accept money in return for her leaving Harry and remaining with the title, with the mansion and the children and $50 million or even more than that? So as I do with SOS questions, I am cutting only once, and putting it on top, and then taking 3 cards, and the answer is in the middle card. Now, as I'm saying, most of the times the card is a message card, so we will need to look at the message. And the answer is a knight, and this is the Knight of Swords. So if we're talking, because it is a court card, usually when we're asking if something is beneficial for the royal family, should the royal family do that? The answer is yes. Because, once again, court cards, when we're asking about whether or not something like that should be done, the answer is yes. Once again, court cards are people with problem, and the Knight of Swords is the spoiled kid. So he's someone who doesn't like to do things by himself. He's the one who is waiting for others to do things for him, and because of that, he misses opportunities. So this is a card of someone who is stubborn, and someone who is not cautious, someone who has tendency to ruin things that others or he himself built. So this card tells us that, first of all, this is the right route for the royal family to take. So if the royal family will go on trying to entice Meghan to accept money in order to leave Harry, this is the right route because it is a court card. Now, once again, because it is the Knight of Swords, they need to be very cautious not to lose the opportunities, and to be very cautious not to be stubborn, not to go out on a war, because this is one of the problems of the Knight of Swords. Because of his stubbornness, he is going out on wars that are not helping him to get what he wants. To be very cautious not to go out on ego wars, not to be the ones that are trying to say the last words. They need to be very cautious when they deal with Meghan, because Meghan is a person that she needs to be the one who says the last word, and this is why we got the Knight of Swords. She is the one who doesn't like to do the work. She's the one who is the spoiled kid. She doesn't want to do things by herself. She wants all of that money. She wants to get everything done for her, but she's also very stubborn, so she will try to get as much as she can out of this deal. So the royal family will need to, this is a very thin line to step on. This is a very, very thin thread to be very, very careful not to shred it, not to tear it, and to be very careful not to let their ego spoil that, and to not let their need to say the last word spoiled this optional deal. Now let's see what we have on the sides. So on this side we have the Six of Cups. Okay, so the Six of Cups is a card of second chances. It's also, it's not a very positive card, because it's not a card of happiness or of success. It's a card that is calling the royal family to get out of their comfort zone in order to rectify the errors of what happened in the past. And this is a card that is, as you can see, the Knight is going away from the Six of Swords, because this is what Meghan tried to make Harry forget. This is a card of nostalgia. This is a card of trying to return someone from the past. This is a card of giving someone second chances. And Meghan doesn't want Harry to get that second chance. She doesn't want him to go back to his family. And this card shows that there is a lot of childish, especially in Harry's way of acting, but there is a lot of childish way of behaving within the Sussexes. So this card shows how difficult it is. It shows that they are not learning from mistakes. It shows difficulty to get out of unhealthy relationship. So it shows how difficult it is. And it is a card of fantasies. It's a card of running away from realities. So, and as you can see, the Knight is running away from this card. So this opportunity for the royal family to seize the moment and to actually be able to offer Meghan money in order to get away from Harry is getting away from this card of the ability of offering Harry a second chance, of reminding him of his childhood, reminding him of the way that things used to be in the past, of trying to get him back, of trying to take him out of this unhealthy relationship. It shows how difficult it is because the knight is going away from this card. So, and where does the knight goes? The knight is going to the king or queen. Wait a minute. I think it's the king of swords, but let me just check. Okay, so that's the Queen of Swords, and that the Queen of Swords, that's the way Meghan wants to be seen, and I've said it many times before. Meghan wants us to believe that she is the idealistic queen, that she is someone who is sacrificing herself in order to take care of everyone else, that she is taking care of the environment, that she is taking care of other people, of world problems. And this is a person that is sacrificing himself and sacrificing everything that he has and sacrificing the family even just in order to be able to work for the good of the human race and everyone around it. So once again, this is a court card, and court cards are people with problems. So, and this card shows that this is a woman that will sacrifice her relationship in order to be seen as the idealistic queen. So this card is showing us that the knight is going for another opportunity. This opens another opportunity for the royal family. So altogether, this is a good way for the royal family to proceed. So this is really, if this is what the royal family is trying to do, this is the right way to go forward. This is what they should do, because the Queen of Swords is opening another way of having Meghan, giving Meghan this excuse of telling the world that she had to sacrifice her marriage in order to help the world, the universe, because her relationship with Harry was not going anywhere, and it was not helping anywhere, anything, and that the world, and it was not allowing her to dedicate herself to the things that are important to her. So this is a good opportunity that the royal family really need to pay attention not to miss. Once again, because the knight is a person that, because of ego and stubbornness, might miss the opportunity, and they can go back to square one very easily. They need to seize the opportunity as soon as they can. So I believe that article was a way of testing the waters, and I think that Meghan is considering that and thinking about that, and I believe that maybe King Charles will be willing to increase the sum and make more concessions. I don't know, but we will have to wait and see. Okay, so now for the rest of the reading. So first, what I'm going to do is clear the deck once again. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the universe to align the cards in the right sequence in order to answer my questions. This is what I'm going to do. This is the way the Tarako, the small Tarako reading is being done. So let's start with doing this request. So I want the universe to align the cards in the right sequence to answer my following questions. I'm asking the universe to align the cards in the right sequence to answer my next questions rightly. I am asking the universe to align the cards in the right sequence so I will get a correct answer for my following questions. So once again, I'm cutting once and putting this half on top. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking 4 cards. I'm not allowed to open those 4 cards. And as my teacher usually says, he has those jokes about, because it is kind of a gypsy reading, he says that if we do that, the gypsies are coming and finding us. So the first question is, was Meghan the one who leaked the book? The answer is the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is a yes answer. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the interpretation, but this is a clear yes answer. This is not a message card. This is a direction card. This is a card that gives us a yes or no answer, and the answer is yes. The meaning of the 8 of Pentacles is working hard even though you're not getting paid a lot of money in return. This is the card of the apprentice. And in this instance, why did she do that? She did that because she couldn't stand having Harry top her with his book succeeding more than her bench. She has in mind to write her own book. She wants her book to be the one who is more successful. She doesn't want him to have that big profit. She wants people to cancel their books, as many people probably are doing right now. So this is exactly why she did that. She leaked that book to the media, in Spain, made it appear early in Spain, because she can't stand the fact that Harry will do something and be more successful than she is. So this is a card that speaks about working hard, not getting a lot. Harry worked hard for this book, and this book will not get the renovations that they expected that it will get. Even if it gets to the best-selling sellers list for the first few weeks, it will not stay there long. And as you know, most of the places are already selling it in half price. It will not get the renovations, the revenues that they think that they expected from the beginning. And this is about not letting Harry succeed. So yes. Next question is, did Meghan really have contact with Diana in her grave? Did Meghan really have this contact, or does she have this dark magic and ability to contact with ghosts or with people that passed to the afterworld? So did she have any kind of contact with Diana at her grave? So once again, 4 cards, and I am taking the fifth one as an answer, and the answer is the Nine of Swords. And this is another clear-cut answer. This is a no answer. And the Nine of Swords, this is a card of worry and justified worry. This is one of the worst card in the deck. My professor even says that it's worse than the Tower, because the Tower is a card that has some kind of a warning, and you can at least look at the things that you need to correct. In the Nine of Swords, there is nothing you can do. This is a card about the worst that will happen, that you think that will happen, will happen. Nothing that you can do can make things clearer. This is about going all the way to the Ten of Swords. This is about making all of the mistakes that you can make, and then reaching the top bottom place of the Ten of Swords, and only after learning learning from the mistakes that you have done, and after suffering so much, then you can see the sunlight coming up. But that is a very long and very painful process. So when you are in the Nine of Swords energy, this is a person that is unable to act in the right way. This is a person who is sick. This is a person who is unable to act logically. This is a card of disasters. This is a card of all the unpleasant things that you can think of. This is self-destruction. This is wrong choices. This is pessimism. This is fear of loss, fear of failure, guilt, anxiety, depression, everything that you can think of. So, and this is a clear-cut no. So, no, Meghan did not have any kind of contact with Diana at her grave. Okay. Next question. Did Harry and Meghan, did William and Catherine have, were William and Catherine fans of Suits and Meghan before they met Meghan, and when they heard that Harry was dating Meghan, they were so excited, and he was afraid that they might hound her for an autograph. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, and as someone said, I heard someone say that one of the top actors of Suits that was in their wedding tried to talk to William and Catherine, and they were baffled. They didn't know who he was. So if they were such a great fans of Suits and were secretly watching Suits all the time, then how could it be? I think it was Neil Sean that said that. But I'm going to check it anyway. So let's see, what do the cards say? So were they big fans of Meghan before Harry met her? And the answer is number 14, which is Temperance. Now, Temperance is not a yes or no answer. It is a message card. And the message of Temperance is all you need is to believe. And this is a card of miracles. This is a card of believing that things can happen by themselves. And this is a card of someone who is, in a way, deluding himself. So this is a card of Harry believing, really believing what he is writing. He's not writing things that he does not believe in. He does believe in the things that he's writing. He does believe that he, in a way, thought that William and Catherine were big admirers of Meghan. Maybe they were trying to be nice, so they said that they knew her, and in his mind he made that a lot bigger than it really was. Maybe they were trying to for him. They were trying to be nice, so they watched a few episodes of Suits, just like I did. For example, after Harry and Meghan hooked up, I started watching Suits. I mean that my husband started watching Suits, and he said, it's not such a bad TV show. I started watching Suits, wasn't so much enthusiastic about it, but I said, okay, it's a nice legal TV show. Meghan was not such a big star in it, but at least not in the first few chapters that I saw. But this is about Harry really believing that what he's saying, and he believes that William and Catherine were big admirers of Meghan. So this is about the message that this card is telling us. So I'm calling BS on that. I think that they were trying to be nice. I think that they did watch Suits in order to make him and her feel welcome. And I think that they did tell him that they watched Suits in order to see Meghan and to see what she was all about. And I think that in his mind, he created this whole narrative about them being these big fans. So this is about him believing that about things that happen by themselves. This is what this card is all about. And I'm not looking at the negative aspects of this card, although it came right after the Nine of Swords, because in this kind of reading, we're not looking at negative and positive aspects of the cards, no matter what came before or after. Okay, next question. Did William physically attack Harry? Now, I totally believe that William did physically attack Harry. Now, whether or not it was one-sided, like Harry makes it look like, I'm not sure. Whether or not the dog bowl was shredded, I am not sure at all. But I can see William being so frustrated at, it's really frustrating when you see someone you love being engrossed by a narcissist that is making him do all of the wrong things, and you look at him and you want to put some sense into him, and you want to take him and to shake him and to make him see some sense, and you know that there is no way that you can do that. And I know from experience how difficult it is to be in the side of the person who really knows that the other person is deluded, but there is no way to make that person understand that he's deluded. There is no way that there is the only way of that person to really realize that he's deluded is that when he realizes that by himself. And that can only happen after Meghan leaves him. So did William physically attack Harry? Let's see. And the answer is the Knight of Pentacles. Now, as I am saying many times in SOS questions, when we're asking if something should be done and we're getting a court card, the answer is yes. So if William did not attack Harry, he should have. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is the hesitant knight. So the hesitant knight is not someone that is so easily going and lashing at someone. He's not someone that is so let's say wait a minute. Okay, sorry, I had this disturbance. So, what I was going to say is that the King of Pentacles is not a hot headed person. This is someone who is hesitant. So, I do believe that there was some kind of not the king, I'm sorry, the Knight of Pentacles. So I do believe that there was some kind of argument. I do believe that there were some kind of words that were thrown. Maybe I wouldn't put it behind. I wouldn't put it more than what we saw with William and that paparazzi that hounded his family. I don't think that he really attacked Harry physically. And I have to say that this surprises me because I really thought that he did. And because this is the Knight of Pentacles, this is the hesitant knight, this is not something that would lash at someone and will go and attack someone. This is someone who will think before he goes out and does something like that. So I don't think that William did actually physically attacked Harry. Maybe there were some kind of touching one another. Maybe they hit one another or shoved one another, but not something like what Harry is describing. So I'm sorry, but this is a lie. Okay, next is that that William and Catherine were the ones who told Harry to wear the Nazi uniform. Now, you all know, those of you who don't, I am a third generation Holocaust survivor. Now, I keep saying that because in my book, each and every one of us that has that is still alive today after World War II is a Holocaust survivor. Now, in my case, both grandparents on both sides were Holocaust survivors, and for me to see someone wearing a Nazi uniform, it doesn't really matter what kind of excuse you will give me. I won't give you any kind of lenience. I don't care who told you or what. If you are over 17 years old, you have a mind of your own, you need to know, or you should know, that this is a big no-no, especially when he went to this party with a lot of people that were dressed in all sorts of racist costumes, and his brother was not wearing racist costumes. Now, this claim was already, there was already a blind item that claimed that William and Catherine were on a break at that time, and that is why Catherine had no dealings with that. But I do remember reading a long time ago that Harry said something about him asking or consulting William about it. He didn't mention Catherine then, but consulting William about it, and William telling him that it is a good idea or that it is something that could be okay. But so I'm going to check this, and I'm going to check it from whether or not William did ask him, because I don't believe that Catherine was involved at all. If they were on a break, then she wasn't there to be asked. So let's see if William did tell Harry to wear the Nazi uniform instead of a pilot's uniform when he was dancing with someone who was dressed as a Ku Klux Klan. And what I'm getting here is the Wheel of Fortune. So once again, here we need to look at the meaning of the card, because this is a message card. And the meaning of the card is, first of all, the Wheel of Fortune is a card of change, but it is about taking destiny in your own hands. And this card is telling Harry that he cannot blame others for his own mistakes. And he keeps on blaming people for his mistakes. He is saying that he heard when he was a child in the palace someone uses the word Paki. He says that he didn't know that Paki was a slur. He is looking for excuses for each and every one of his mistakes, except for his biggest mistake, which is writing this book. But this is a card that is telling him that he took his destiny in his own hands. That means that this is something that he himself decided on. This is something that it was in his hands. This is something that comes from his inside, because the Wheel of Fortune is a card of change. This is a card of change that usually starts from the inside all the way to the outside. But in order for this to change, you need to believe that things, or that life is really something that you can determine, that you can that you have some control over the things that you're doing, not thinking that everything is what comes from above. And it looks like Harry has this fatalistic look on life, that he was born in despair, and that determined the way that he looks at life since he was born, and nothing is actually at his hands. So everything is determined from above, and that is why he keeps on spewing his mistakes on others. So this card is just showing us that all of the changes that he went through are bad changes. This is an upheaval of faith. This is about a person that believes that everything can happen by itself. This is a person that believes about fate that determines everything. This is a person that believes that he has no responsibility. He doesn't need to take responsibility because he is not responsible for anything that he has done. So he keeps on looking for others. So for others to put on the blame on them, because nothing that he does or nothing that happens is fault. And this is what this card is telling us, and this is why we got this card, because this card is telling us he really thinks that he cannot take his destiny in his own hands. Everything is determined from above. These are things that are out of his hands, and that is why he's not responsible for anything that he has done in the past. Okay, I think that I will stop here, because I think it's quite long enough. I will do a second video with the rest of the questions. I hope I will manage to do that one today, but if not, then I will come back tomorrow. But let's see, what do the oracle cards tell us. So first I'm going to take an oracle card for us and for the royal family, and ask for some kind of directions, for messages from the angels. These were the dark angels. Now I'm asking for the good angels for messages for us and for the royal family. What kind of messages do the angels have for us? So let's start with the world and then the royal family. So first I'm clearing the deck. Okay, so a message to the people in the world about Harry and the allegations that come out of his book. A message to us and to others in the world about Harry and the allegations that come out from his book. So that is the first card. And I'm just going to take it out, and I'm not going to talk about it. First, I'm going to take one card for the royal family. So that is Layla. And this, let's clear the deck again. Okay, so a message for the royal family on Harry's book and the allegations that come from Harry's book. Okay, Akasha. So the message for us is spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. So I think that this message is good for all of us to try and find a positive perspective out of all of this. And maybe the positive perspective is that the royal family will be able to save Harry after all of that. But maybe he will be able to realize that Meghan is not there to help him. Maybe they will be able to convince her that she is much better off without him. Okay, so that's the message for us. The message for the royal family is Akasha. Akasha, yeah. You are a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and to help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life's mission. Interesting. Okay. So for people who want to save someone from a narcissistic clutch, this is a message that tells them that as spiritual teachers, they have the ability to help others and awaken them and to find their own spiritual gifts. And this is something that I believe Harry is craving and lacking. So maybe this is the way to approach him. Okay, so let's see if the Runes Oracle can give us something about what is going on in the Sussex camp. This is a tricky oracle deck because some of the cards are very positive, some are very negative, so we'll have to wait and see what comes out. Okay, so clearing the deck. And let's start asking. So an oracle deck to try and show us what is going on within Harry's mind and how he feels, what is going on in the Sussex camp right now after the leakage of the book Spare. So what can we find about the Sussexes and what is going on in their camp after the leakage of the book Spare? Okay, so this is the card that I got, and this is Manaz, and it is a card, a symbol of man and interdependence. And this rune is the rune of humanity, family, and departure. It symbolizes the link between men and gods. Interesting. But it is about interdependence. Interesting. Okay, so this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it. And if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.